Hey guys, so today I want to do kind of a different video. This is, say at least somewhat inspired by a video that I saw from Super Russ 9000. Although I do kind of feel like I'm taking a somewhat, at least, different route on this. But I want to really talk to you about kind of my history of collecting, how my collecting has evolved, how I got into collecting in the first place, etc., etc. So, in kind of thinking about this, in retrospect and stuff, I kind of feel like one like big thing that kind of rings consistently true about me, because my collecting has changed, but I kind of feel like my motive behind it hasn't really changed. But I'll say like what really drives my collecting is that I'm a nerd on many levels. I mean, a lot of people say that, if you like movies and, you like superheroes, you like science fiction, you like horror, that's what makes you a nerd. And that's true about me, but, I like, more technical things, I like to know how things are made and, the processes. I like the jargon that's associated with them. So, those are kind of like the collectibles that appeal most to me, are, things that it's like, I'm just kind of grabbing this at random. It's nothing relevant, but this is a cat collar for, when Thomas had fleas and I was trying to get him to stop scratching himself. But, this is a cat collar, goes around his neck. That's all that there is to it. No, I like more like stuff that you can point out like certain details about it. You can talk about how the thing was made, etc., etc. So yeah, that's kind of, the details of like the person that I am, what appeals to me. So, the first thing that I really got into collecting, because my main obsession with collecting has changed over the years and probably will continue to change over the years. I just in general love collecting, but what I collect, at least what I focus on collecting, because a lot of the stuff that was once my main focus, I haven't stopped collecting. It's just not my main focus. But yeah, first thing that I really got into collecting was vinyl records. Now, how I got into collecting vinyl records, believe for my 11th birthday, I'd like to say, my grandpa, may he rest in peace, most of my grandparents at this point have passed on. I had a lot of grandparents because divorce tends to be pretty common in my family. But yeah, either way, my grandpa, my biological grandpa on my father's side, I guess I should say, got me my first stereo. I still have it to this day. I'm looking at it right now, actually. Just considering kind of bringing the camera to show it to you, but it's kind of a mess in that general area, so I'm not going to bother with that. But either way, he got me my first stereo, and it's one of those combo deals where, you can play CDs, you can play tapes, it's got a radio, and it's got a record player. Most of the stuff on there I don't even use these days. I mainly just use that as sort of like a amplifier, I use a DVD player to play CDs. I play my DVDs to that stereo too, but I got a few external record players at this point actually, but only one really works. One of them was given to me by my dad. It's supposed to be really good. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. And I still got the one that was originally built in. Mainly just use it to play tapes now. A little bit more comfortable because this might be a while. But yeah, anyway, yeah, he got me my first stereo, so, honestly, I wasn't really that big into music at that time, but, I had a stereo, might as well, so, I got a few CDs, but I wasn't really viewing CDs as collectibles. I mainly just got them to, listen to music. Digital music was still fairly early at that time, and I did eventually get a few MP3 players because they tend to break on me a lot. But honestly, digital music just never really did catch on to me. There's something about, that physical copy, opening it, having a booklet with lyrics and artwork. it was just really appealing to me. But, it was more than just a CD player, and like I was getting like, more and more curious about, the other components of it. So I was maybe 12, 13, somewhere in that general area when, I had an allowance, but my mom had the credit card. So if I had to buy anything online, I had to go through her. So around that age, I was begging my mom to get me a vinyl record so I can, like, see what that turntable on top of that stereo was all about. And the record I ended up getting, my very first record, was Me Without You's Catch For Us the Foxes. So it's a pretty simple packaging, just black vinyl. It does have a very simple lyric sheet to it. Nothing too fancy. But yeah, something about that struck a chord with me. For me, vinyl is all about both aspects. It's both about the actual music and it's about the packaging. I just really got into the packaging on vinyl as well as the sound. On that whole technical note, another driving factor that, really got me into music, not necessarily as a collectible, but just music in general is, like I said, I like, more technical stuff, stuff that, I can learn about, figure out the processes and details of it. And yeah, so around this time I was also really getting into watching studio documentaries. I like to figure out, all the gear that's used to make their music, all the process, all the productions, etc., etc. And yeah, then later I started, getting into more deluxe vinyl records. So, same band. This is like my first box set vinyl record. Honestly, hasn't really aged that well in terms of packaging, I feel, but still, this still set something off for me. So there's 10 stories. It's in a box like you'd get a board game or a puzzle in. So, open it up. You got a CD with alternate artwork, 2 bonus tracks on it. Something kind of quirky I like to do is I like to add extra things to my own vinyl records. I threw in the cassette for some reason. You got an extra 7-inch with the bonus songs. It's gate-folded, and has a lyric booklet with extra artwork. You got this. It's not a 12 by 12. A lot of vinyl records will come with booklets that are 12 by 12. But, you do have a nice bigger booklet with art and lyrics and all that good stuff. I added more to this, so it came with a unsigned poster, but as a freebie with another order, I got a signed poster, so I went ahead and threw that in, and then you got the vinyl itself. It comes on these custom sleeves, and it's, I want to show you the back vinyl actually, but it's colored vinyl. You won't be able to see it well, but it does have an etching on this unused 4th side, so yeah, like, stuff like that. Like, I became really obsessed with packaging on vinyl like that. So, I was pretty nerdy about that. Then, flash forward a few years, Funko was getting big. The MCU was getting big. And there was a certain subscription box service called Marvel Collector Core that came out. See, I think I was already a Marvel fan. So, okay, I guess I need to rewind a little bit further. But, yeah, probably the next thing that I really got into collecting actually was comic books. Which really didn't last that long. I still have a big appreciation for comics. Just not necessarily comic books. So, yeah, that's like the one thing that I actually kind of do prefer digital now, because like what kind of got me burned out on comics wasn't so much the comics themselves, it was so much the space that they were taking up. Because I mainly go to comics for reading. I'm not really big on them as, collecting them just for like their covers or whatever. For me, I feel like comic books aren't really quite as technical as a lot of the other collectibles that I'm into. I just like to read them. That's pretty much it. So yeah, I transitioned fairly quickly into digital comics, but still, my comic book store was selling Funko Pops. They're starting to kind of intrigue me, and then I think through some Marvel social media, I eventually saw that. Damn, my phone's dying, and this is probably going to be a long video. Oh well, but anyway, I saw that they had a Marvel Collector Core, and before I even got that, I ended up ordering a Funko Pop through eBay. I don't think I even have that anymore, but I tried to order like the potted Groot Pop. They messed up and sent me the original Groot instead, but I still thought it was cool. But when I saw the unboxings for that Marvel Collector Core, it was reminding me a lot of opening up a vinyl record. Just a lot of different parts to it, and all that. So that really fascinated me. So I signed up for it, went through eBay, tracked down the ones that I missed, got them. And for the longest time, I'd open them, but I wouldn't take the stuff out of the box because I wanted to be able to keep on going back to it, open it again, go through that experience of, unboxing it again and again. And, I got into other subscription boxes too, and, eventually I gave up on subscription boxes because I just realized that, a lot of the stuff, at least these days from subscription boxes, it just doesn't really appeal to me as much anymore. So, yeah, I think last subscription box I got was a BAM anime box of all things last February. So it's been nearly a year since I've got a subscription box, and even before then it was pretty sparse that I was getting boxes. But yeah, am I ready to talk about pens yet? Yeah, I think I'm ready to talk about pens. So pens is currently my main focus on collecting. Like I said, it all comes back to being, something that's, very technical, has a lot of jargon to, a lot of, details and information about how it's made that, really appeals to me. Because, for a lot of, casual collectors or people that just don't know about pens, they see it as just, artwork, it's printed with ink on metal. But no, that's not at all, at least what enamel pens are. There's a lot more details to it, a lot more of a process to it. There's a lot of limitations. There's a lot of things you can't do with pens. That's kind of what appeals to me, like, what you can do within that range of limits. Because there's a lot of things you can do with pens, but it's not like a limitless possibilities. And that just really fascinates me, and, I like knowing about that, all the different ways you can make pens. Yeah, it just really fascinates me, and really I see pens as like one of the most complex art forms there are. Because when you're doing like an art print, sure, it looks good, but like when you're just printing things like that, there's pretty much anything you can do. T-shirts, I'm into t-shirt collecting a lot too. They're, a little bit more limiting too, not quite as limiting as pens though. And, it's those limits that really fascinate me. So yeah, I guess explaining my fascination with enamel pens actually went a little bit faster than I was expecting. But yes, enamel pens is currently my main focus on collecting. But, I still collect vinyl records a lot, t-shirts, and autographs. Those are kind of my big four right now. I don't collect figures as much as I used to, but I still get them every once in a while. I did go through the whole, Funko isn't cool phase, but then kind of I realized, I was just being pretentious. Funko actually is pretty cool. It's just not something that I really need to focus on that much. Every once in a blue moon I get a Funko Pop. And I like other figures too, I like NECA figures, I like Marvel Legends, I like Star Wars Black Series. and, a few other odds and ends like that. But, figures isn't really what I'm hugely focused on collecting right now. I'm mainly focused on pens, t-shirts, autographs, and vinyl records. That's what I mainly like to collect. So, yeah, that's kind of a overview of my history of collecting. I'm sorry it took so long, but like I said, I've kind of had a long history, and I've gone through a lot of changes, so yeah. I guess that wraps it up, so yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Actually, no, I think I do want to kind of talk about, a new sort of collectible that, again, kind of goes on with, my fascination with, the more technical aspects of things, but, like, one thing that I'm kind of getting more and more into, right now I only have 3 of these, and it's a bit questionable if they're collectibles or not, but like I said, but, I really, sorry, it's hard to show them at a good angle like this, but yeah, I've been really getting into tattoos, and, once again, I really like knowing a lot about the processes behind it, I'll probably never tattoo somebody. I'm not a good artist. I definitely don't trust myself to permanently disfigure someone like that. But still, yeah, stuff like that just really fascinates me.